We continue now at the top of Daf Dalet Amud Aleph in Meseches Gittin. This is Gittin Daf 4a. The Gemara had suggested on the previous summit that Rabbi Meir requires Kasiva Lishma on a D'Rabbanan level, but the Gemara now says it can't be because Rabbi Meir says, let's say a person finds a get in the garbage, V'chosmu v'nasnu lakasher, it happens to have the same names on it, and then he gets it signed and he gives it to her, it would be kosher. So you see the writing does not have to be Lishma. Now if you're going to say that statement of Rabbi Meir, that was only on a Doraisa level, that a person is allowed to do that, but if that was the case, Omer Hoyer Rabbi Meir Dvar Torah Miboile, that's what Rabbi Meir should have said. It should have said that Rabbi Meir says on a Doraisa level this would be kosher, but on a D'Rabbanan level we require Ksiva Lishma, but it doesn't say that, so it sounds like Rabbi Meir again only requires Chasima Lishma and does not require Ksiva Lishma, and so the Gemara is still trying to look for the Tan of our Mishnah that requires both the Ksiva Lishma and the Chasima Lishma, according to the opinion of Rabbah, that B'fanei Nechtam is said because of Lishma. And so the Gemara says, Ella rather Liolam Rebbe Lazar. He really, the Tan of our Mishnah is Rebbe Lazar. V'chilo boy Rebbe Lazar Chasima. And when does Rebbe Lazar say that we don't require Chasima Lishma? Heicha deleka Edom Klal. That's if there's no witnesses signed on the get at all. But Heicha deika Edom. But if witnesses are signed on the get, boy, so then those witnesses have to sign Lishma. The Yomer Rabbi Abba, because Rabbi Abba says, Moder Rebbe Lazar b'mezuyef mitocho shu pasel. Rabbi Lazar admits that if it's forged, if it's inherently forged, then it is going to be pasel. And Rashi says, "V'chilo boy Rebbe Lazar chasima heicha deleka edem klal kilomar kilo chasimi sadio leklal shapir tfei mehashta the chasimo lev shelo lishma the havalei mezuyif mitocha." It's better if there's no witnesses at all, rather than having witnesses sign on the get but not doing it lishma. That's called mezuyif mitocha. What does it mean mezuyif mitocha? Rashi says, "Mezuyif mitocha shechasim olav karov." O pasel, o shalol lishma. Let's say a relative signs, or let's say someone who's disqualified to be a witness signs, or again, let's say someone signs shalol lishma. That would be a problem called mezuyif mitocho. And so, in that sense, Rebbe Lazar does require the chasima to be lishma, and that's why you can say that the Tan of our Mishnah is Rebbe Lazar, and that's why Rabbah says the shliach says b'fanei nechtav and b'fanei nechtam, because both the ksiva and the chasima need to be lishma according to Rebbe Lazar. And the Gemara continues. Rav Ashi says a different answer. Who's the Tan of our Mishnah? Ha mani Rabbi Yehuda. Who's the Tan of our Mishnah? It's Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda posel achete ksivaso v'chasimaso betalish. Rabbi Yehuda says that the get is posel unless both the ksiva and the chasima are done when it's detached from the ground. So you see that he holds both the ksiva and the chasima need to be lishma. And the Gemara says, my time alone Rabbi Yehuda, but from the beginning, why don't we always say that it follows Rabbi Yehuda? That seems like an obvious answer. And the Gemara says, Mehadrina na Rabbi Meir, the Stam Masnis Rabbi Meir. First we try to make it like Rabbi Meir, because Stam Mishnah is Rabbi Meir, and Mehadrina na Rabbi Lazar. Then we try to say that maybe our Mishnah is like Rabbi Lazar, the Kaim Alon Hilchasok Vase Begittin, because we've established that the halacha is like Rabbi Lazar in Gittin. And Rashi says, Hilchasok Rabbi Lazar begittin b'ha milsa, meaning in this issue, the halacha is like Rabbi Lazar, develo edem chasumim kosher, that even if you have a get without any witnesses signed, it's going to be kosher. V'achim mukminan b'perek basar. That's how we understand this in the later parak. And the Gemara continues, Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah. Rabbi Gamliel says, Af ha-mevi min ha-rekem min ha-cheger, even somebody who delivers a get from rekem or from cheger, needs to say b'fanei nechtam. Rabbi Eliezer Omer afilu mikfar ludim l'lud. Rabbi Eliezer says, even if you bring from kfar ludim to lud, you need to say b'fanei nechtam. V'yamar Abaye, and Abaye says, Ba'yoris hasmuchas la'eretz Yisrael, umuvlos betchum Eretz Yisrael askinan. This part of the Mishnah is talking about cities that are near Eretz Yisrael, and they're absorbed in the boundary and the borders of Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara continues, V'yamar Rabba bar Barchan, and Rabba bar Barchan said, L'didi chazi li'ahu asra, I saw that area, v'havi k'mavi kuvi l'pumbedisa. It's like the same distance from Mavi Kuvi to Pumbedisa, meaning the distance from Kfar Ludim to Lud is the same as the distance from Mavi Kuvi to Pumbedisa. And Rashi says, "V'yamar Abaye ayoris halalo shosifu smuchos la'eretz Yisrael hanach rekem v'cheger Rabbi Gamliel v'hanach Rabbi Eliezer have smuchos tvei." In other words, Rabbi Gamliel's rekem and cheger are close to Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Eliezer's cities are even closer than that to Eretz Yisrael. They're absorbed in the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael. That's Kfar Ludim. Sha'af muvlos ein betchum el she'ein Eretz Yisrael. They're in the boundary of Eretz Yisrael, even though they're not Eretz Yisrael proper. The Tanakama savar hani lo tzrichi mishum desmuchos. So the Tanakama holds these places are near Eretz Yisrael. There's no need for b'fanei nechtav. V'yasser Rabbi Gamliel lo sufe smuchos, and Rabbi Gamliel says no, smuchos do need umodi b'mavlos, but if they're absorbed, you don't need to say b'fanai. Rabbi Eliezer hosaves and mavlos, and Rabbi Eliezer says even the mavlos, even those, you need to say b'fanai, and so that's the machlokas tanoim in the Mishnah in terms of the extent of the takana to say b'fanai nechta v'b'fanai nechta. And so the Gemara now continues, Mechlal de Tanakama Sovar. So this whole machlokas Tanaim in the Mishnah implies that the Tanakama holds, Hani lo tzarech, that these cities, they don't need to say b'fanai nechta. And so therefore the Gemara now understands, my lav is it not b'haka miflagi, that this is exactly the machlokas Tanoim. The machlokas Rabba and Rava is the same as the machlokas Tanoim in our Mishnah. Tamar Savar, Lafishain Bekin Lishma, because one says the reason to say b'fanai is because of Lishma. V'hani Gemiri, so there's no need in these cities that are very close, because they're learned, they know the halachas of Lishma. Umar Savar, Lafishain Edem Mitzuyin L'kaima, and the other one says the reason for b'fanai is because there's no witnesses around to certify, so it's a way of certifying the get. V'hani Nami Lo Shchichi, and in these cities also, even though they're very close, but it's not common, it's not frequent to have travel between these cities and Eretz Yisrael, so there's a need for kiyum, there's a need for certification. And the Gemara continues, lo, no, that's not what's going on in the Mishnah. Rabba mitaris l'taime, v'Rava mitaris l'taime. Rabba can explain the Mishnah according to his reason. Everybody agrees it's because of Lishma. And Rava can understand the Mishnah according to his reasoning that everybody agrees it's because of certification. Rabba mitaris l'taime, d'kuliyama l'fishein bekin Lishma. Rabba will answer according to his reasoning. Everybody agrees it's because of Lishma. V'hacha b'haka miflagi. And here they're arguing as follows. Tanakama savar hani came in the smuchas migmar gemiri. That Tanakama holds these nearby cities, so they're learned. There's no issue of Lishma. Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Gamliel comes along and says the absorbed cities, in those cities they're learned, but not in the nearby cities. And Rabbi Eliezer says no, even the cities that are absorbed, we don't apply this halacha. We say that even in those cities you need to say b'fanai shelo tachluk b'medina sayam. We don't want to make any distinctions. Anything that's medina sayam, anything that's outside of Eretz Yisrael, all of those areas should be treated the same, whether they're learned, whether they are not learned. And Rava mitaris l'taimi, and Rava can answer according to his reasoning. Everybody agrees the reason for b'fanai is for certification. Tanakama savar hani came in the smuchos mishkach shchichi. Tanakama holds the nearby cities, it's common to have travel, and so there's no concern. Rabbi Gamliel says the areas that are absorbed in the borders, so their travel is frequent, but the nearby cities, there's no travel, it's not frequent. And Rabbi Eliezer comes along and says, no, even the absorbed cities, we have to treat all of them the same because they're outside Eretz Yisrael. Lo, no, we do not allow them not to say b'fanai, they have to say b'fanai as well. That we don't want to make any distinctions when things are outside of Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara continues, Tanan, we learned at the end of our Mishnah, the Chachamim say, Eino tzarech sheyomer v'fanei nechtem, ela hamevi mimedinas hayam v'hamolech. It says that the Chachamim say, there's no requirement to say v'fanei nechtem, except for somebody who delivers a get from Medinas Hayam, and someone who takes it the other direction, from Eretz Yisrael to Medinas Hayam. And so the Gemara says, Mechlal, the Tanakama, Savar Molech Lo Tzarech. Sounds like the Tanakama, if they're arguing with the Chachamim, the Tanakama in the beginning of the Mishnah hold that if you're going from Eretz Yisrael to Medinas Hayam, you don't need to say v'fanei nechtem. And Ma'ila, b'haka miflagi, isn't this exactly the machlokas? The machlokas Rabba and Rava is the same machlokas, Tanakam and the Chachamim. Tamar savar l'fishein bekin l'shma. One holds the reason is because they're not bekin l'shma, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Dalid Amud Beis.